Now, welcome to my Craig Talk, where we talk about Craig Schaefer books, of which I'm realizing there's so many. We read Double or Nothing, Daniel Faust, book 7. And I'm your host, Julia. And also, YouTube hasn't been uploading my videos for several months, and I'm really mad. So, I'm gonna fix that later. Maybe, hopefully. Who else is here? Just say things, it don't matter. Who
Hi,
else
it's
is
me,
here?
Shell Game.
Okay, that's
Hi,
one.
it's me, Dijon.
Hello, Great Joe. It's
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. I think
Hi,
he's the
Joe.
only one that listens to these, which is fine.
I'll tweet about it.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, who wants to talk about? I guess give a very brief summary of Double or Nothing.
I can try.
Do it. I mean, my summary would be super short because I read these like as soon as we finish recording. I start reading the next book because I make good
And-
choices.
There's kind of not a lot going on.
Yeah. Double for Nothing. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shell.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's see here. I believe it was the end of our last Daniel venture that we saw Navarasi being like whatever with the enemy and Ms. Fleiss and whatnot, and well, that's how this book starts too. Them all like scheming together. But that's just the prologue. Actually, what's really going on at the beginning of the book is that Jennifer and Daniel are solidifying their position in the town as the leader of the acting chair people of the
New commission. Yeah.
And
really good
they
name.
are they are among other things, they are getting the mayor and the police chief to try to line up with them, and it seems that there's this new drug in town called Ink, and it is driving people crazy. The police can't get anything on them, but within a matter of, I don't know, probably pages, they are able to, Jennifer Daniel and whatnot are able to track down a runner, a seller. They have to break the spell that is keeping him from talking first, but they manage to find out that I want to say that that they were directed to New Mexico. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's like I think it's like Texas or New Mexico.
And
New Mexico's kind of a dropped plot thread for this book.
Yeah, it does. It's not. I'm gonna tell you for a fact that like it doesn't really come up till the next Daniel Faust book. Just it's not. Yeah.
So, but before they can head off, Navarasi, who's owed two favors by Daniel, calls in one of her favors and wants him to come to Denver immediately. So after a little bit of a back and forth, they decide that Daniel and Caitlin will go there, but they themselves decide, without necessarily telling Navarasi, that they will be going to New Mexico first to check up on this little operation, which they do. And lo and behold, the weird Dr. Nedry from the third book, who can like jump around through mirrors and shit, is there. And he's working on some drug stuff. And in his hubris, he announces, "Oh, well, that's because I'm now working for the network. It's real, and it's actually a big fucking deal. And I'm telling you all this because I'm gonna kill you because I'm the mirror now, not actually me, or something." But they managed to escape his little thing. They have there's a sex scene that I completely forgot, so I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
And then Navarasi sets him off to.
Yeah.
There's a gross food metaphor. I hate food metaphors and sex. Navarasi's whole thing is that she really wants Daniel to go steal the knife that he stole from Chicago for Fleiss and allegedly the lottery winner guy. So they set out to do that, but not before having some hijinks with David Gosselin, the Magic Man, who wants his hat back. But that's not too
funny.
important. I
forgot
just
about
really
that.
wanted to bring it up. So they arrange a heist. It's the whole gang. It's Bentley and Corman. It's Mama and it's Pixie. It's everybody. Everyone's going out and they're gonna go storm the place in Texas. The giant mansion that is owned by the rich man who is being held captive by Fleiss and the enemy. And whoops! Turns out Fleiss and the enemy are in the basement, and they're actually using they're actually using that guy for a ritual, and the knife that they stole is a cutting knife, a knife that cuts through dimensions, just like in that one series of books that we all remember. So let's see. Daniel fucks things up there. Takes the knife. Turns out the knife has a lady in it. He takes the lady home.
She's what to do.
Get a whole bunch of back and forth. People try to kill Daniel, including one guy who has a cartoon hippo tulpa.
Oh yeah.
God, yep.
Specifically, it's Court
Like-
of Hell drama that people are trying to kill Daniel over.
Yes.
It really
Yes,
doesn't really
yes,
matter.
that's right. The
I feel like-
assassins are after him.
Really need to stress that the hippo is like rubber hose style. Like, picture that when you're thinking of the hippo, because it just
Steamboat
makes
Willie.
it. Yeah. Yep. Makes
Betty
it way
Boop.
better.
Yeah, some yeah. Some other stuff comes up, especially with the Tulpa Hippo guy. It turns out he is Caitlin's former lover and has some really not great things to say about Caitlin. And well, let's see here. Daniel goes to confront Caitlin about it. They have a little fight. He leaves. Some old guy tells him to like forgive and love and stuff, and like. So he heads back, but then he's caught by our other old friends. Our other old friend. Shit, what's his name? I have it here somewhere.
Fontaine.
Fontaine. Fontaine, the not the incarnate demon. He's the other one, the skin jumper or whatever. And his new creepy little girl charge that wants to murder Daniel outright. But
boy,
that gets all called off, so it doesn't matter. And but actually it does matter because it turns out that Caitlin is turning herself in to make up for effectively to take the blame for him not. Oh, right, I left it out. Daniel refused to return the knife to Navarasi because it was a lady, and he's not going to let a lady let Navarasi own a lady because that's
I
shitty.
mean, it doesn't really matter because around this point he figures out that Navarasi's friend
it doesn't. It doesn't. But
she wanted
that's
this
what
part to
causes her.
happen.
Yes, that's what causes her to make the Courts of Hell go after him, which makes him get caught, which makes Caitlin go to the Courts of Hell to try to get some hell legalese going so that she takes the blame instead. And Navarasi is like just about to, aha, I own Caitlin now, but wait. Daniel appears just in time because Cersei, the knife lady,
Because the
helped
knife
him
spit
through
in
the
his
fucking-
eyes.
Huh?
The knife spit in his eyes.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, sorry.
The Cersei Cersei guides him through the area in between limbo. Also, she takes Daniel to her creepy queen lady, red lady. Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
This is all going back to a fucking revenge cycle bullshit.
And so Daniel makes
Nope.
it just in time, and between him, Caitlin, Navarasi, and the two princes of hell, and Nadine, and everybody who's there, they all just sort of repartee each other until we get a showdown between Daniel and Caitlin and Navarasi, and Daniel and Caitlin win, and the end.
Daniel's a Knight of Hell.
Daniel's now a Knight of Hell.
That's kind of important.
Because he's doing some fun legalese with...
And then, in the epilogue...
the Treaty of a Cold Peace, you say that the hounds are a prince's weapon.
Yes.
Well, that's figurative. We're demons. We're all about loopholes.
Anyways,
epilogue.
Epilogue.
In the epilogue, the enemy is visited by somebody who he could not detect, and then as he tries to erase the person's history, he cannot, because as far as the enemy can tell, this man that is in front of him has no history. It is in fact a representative named Mr. Smith, which is a name we've heard dotted here and there throughout this book and past books. He is a representative of the network. And he says that he very much likes what the enemy's doing, and they just want to merge resources.
Yeah, it's really normal.
Now the end.
Okay, Heave, I feel like you, the person who read Ghost of Gotham, should know who the lady in red is.
Oh yeah, fuck damn it. That's who we've got as red, but this is also as pinging on me.
Yeah. No, sorry. I mean, we'll find out who the lady in red is later, but Heave already knows because he read Ghost of Gotham, where she makes a very minor appearance. And Craig said Ghost of Gotham wasn't connected to any of his other books. He's a fucking liar, Craig.
Gregory.
But yeah, no. It's not who I think maybe Shell and Dijon think it is.
I mean, I honestly am holding out.
It's not the owl.
Okay.
I'm honestly holding out guesses until
it's very clearly something outside of...
No, the owl lives, and
the owl lives.
Not in the Shadow Realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the owl lives. Is
she's probably something more akin to the Kings, to be honest.
I'm just calling it Shadow Realm.
Oh yeah, the King of Worms did get name checked a couple times.
Yes.
In this
book, that's
a
hook into the next Daniel Fels book. He said someone took ink and he said the King of Worms wanted to speak to you, Daniel. That seems bad.
Because the organization is the Kings. To recap.
Yes.
So yeah, go ahead and start filling in gaps. I just really wanted to make sure we got through all the highlights.
I mean, I can't think of anything major that you missed besides like the owl lives is a piece of graffiti that gets mentioned. Not in this one. Whoops. Sorry, I am getting this one and the next one confused because they happen like one right after another.
Well, what you're thinking of is that what you're probably thinking of, Julia, is that it's mentioned that the people who are going insane on ink.
Okay, yes.
They're like repeating a bunch of phrases, and they mentioned stuff like the owl.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yes. And I just knew that this was roughly when.
And he held the book still.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, spoilers. The next book, there's going to be more of that, but I feel like you probably already guessed.
For sure.
Brief aside, we get our insight into the Harmony Black book coming up.
Yes.
Brief snippet of the news vaguely talking about some scandal in the FBI.
Yeah. Which I'm really excited about.
Pixie also does get to report to Daniel that Harmony Black bought his car.
Yes, this is okay. Fucking okay.
Also gets to report to Daniel that the lesbian romance is dead in the water.
I'm trying to think of what else we might have missed. I don't think. Is this the one where
Chicago Adventures? For those are kind of
All right. This is the one I think because I'm almost 100% sure. But again, this one and the next book are sort of blurring together for me at this point. Does Craig talk? Does Pixie's sexuality come up? I feel like it does.
Yeah. That's why I said that she gives the news that the lesbian romance is dead in the water.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
She basically tells
it's asexual.
Yeah, she tells like Faust, hey, let Jennifer down easy for me.
Yeah, it's probably the least badly handled asexual whatever in a piece of media I've encountered.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm not, and I don't think that's not what Jennifer's looking for. So sorry.
Yeah, no, it was fairly okay.
It's just like,
There was-
she
it was
doesn't
just
like,
like
she
a
doesn't like having
thing.
sex. That's it.
Yeah, it was just like a thing that like was said, and it wasn't made a big deal, and then they moved on. Because I think like Daniel's like, you don't really judge your family, you just be there for when you need them. That was nice. That was fine. What the fuck else? We get to see the weird, cool ritual that they're doing with the Year King. What's his fucking face? That's cool.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing that I have to mention in the side. The Aztecs are ancient aliens.
Oh yeah, that came up.
Yeah, we also start sniffing around parallel dimensions in like what I consider the main series. This is like if you didn't read the Revanche books in like the order that we have been, this is the first time you get any sort of real heads up like there's travel between them that doesn't involve weird anti-entropy beings like crossing over. So that was cool. I also super appreciate that they're basically ancient aliens. I don't know. Did anything else?
There's also Faust. The end of Faust, the thieves' story, basically is revealed.
Yes.
to
He,
Faust.
Oh yeah, he's
Very
killed by his
important.
lover.
yes, he's
Yes.
killed by his lover. Which
For something that he has
oh.
stolen. Like he
Yes.
he makes the biggest makes the biggest steal of his life, and his lover kills him for it.
I'm
Which
really
notably, it is different from how a thief dies in the enemy's play.
yes, alone and tortured in a cell or whatever by a corrupt
Yeah.
warden.
False
I'm-
warden, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
I'm really
Wait,
excited
sorry.
for when we get the conclusion of that because I think it's maybe one of the most clever ways Craig has because it feels like when I read this I was like, oh, he's writing himself in the box. I know how this has to end. Caitlin or like Jennifer, if we're being very generous, or one of his exes is like probably gonna accidentally hurt him and kill him. But Craig's actually way more clever than I give him credit for, so I'm really excited.
I mean,
Oh.
I've literally just finished reading a book that talks about how death in stories is a metaphor. And that
Yeah.
can be a lot of things.
That's
Like,
also
that
true.
can just be a change.
Speaking of, I have respect for Craig in doing the whole, like, ex-boyfriend or whatever, telling the character that, like, hey, this dude is shit. Him being the first author ever to be like, yeah, no, my ex was lying. So this always happens in books. Is anything the bitter ex says ends up being right.
Yeah.
It's just like, no,
Yeah, no. Like
here's a line.
you find out that to be like the Tulpa assassin, so like a colorful cast of assassins try to kill Daniel, but one of them is mentioned is one of Caitlin's exes, and basically Nadine like sets it up so that it's like, oh, she's the one that fucking tried to kill him and now he's trying to get revenge, and then you like find out like, no, he's being a weird controlling freak, and Caitlin like gave him a bunch of outs to like get out of the relationship or leave her alone or change, and he didn't take them, and like because he was like a powerful magician, she basically like almost killed him. She
He
like
tried to bind her,
yes,
which is really shitty.
yes.
Mhm.
So it was self-defense, basically, her like
Yeah.
destroying him.
Yeah, no, I was like really, it was like heartwarming, I guess, in a way, when it was like, yeah, no, this the ex is lying, obviously. What?
It's so good for one book finally to just be like, no, why would he be telling the truth?
Yeah. I also super appreciate that like Craig confronted the like the question of like, is Caitlin manipulating Daniel because she's a succubus? And the answer is like, she did it once and then she immediately felt bad about it and has never done it again, which is like
Yep.
probably like as believable as that's going to get, considering she's like a demon. Like, of course she would do it once. And then she stopped when she learned about Daniel's trauma with demons and hasn't done it since.
And also it was like then she like fell in love with him and she was like, oh, I actually like him. I don't want to do bad things to him.
Yeah. And basically it's just Daniel coming to terms with his own ego and being like, I mean, I don't have any reason not to believe her. And like at no point is it ever like Caitlyn's terrible and awful. It's just like Daniel coming to grips with like
With his
himself.
fragile male ego.
And
Yeah.
she gives him like a very straightforward like, no, you're clearly not being manipulated right now because what's happening right now sucks, and
Yeah.
my powers make things not suck.
Yeah.
And I will point out, I now have people mad at me because I should have just said Sundare.
No,
No, I
it
like.
was Sundare.
I'm mad at you
I
for
like
saying
it.
it's in there.
Say I'm wrong.
I
Well,
like it.
so counterpoint.
Okay,
I
I'm
really
waiting.
did not like the bar scene, the part where Daniel left because he needed time to think, and he met up with this old man who just kind of talked to him about relationships over
That
drinks.
old man's plot relevant.
Yeah,
And
because he knows Daniel's name.
I mean, yeah, like it's not really going. They don't. Craig doesn't really put people like that in there unless they, matter. But the way that conversation went felt really weird to me because I feel like there is actually something to be said for the fact that she had said that she had never taken control of him before, but it turned out she had, and it was kind of and by the way that conversation went between him and the old man, it made it just kind of seem like he was upset over nothing. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it was a lie, and he had every right to feel confused and betrayed and really have to work through it for a little while. And but the conversation just went very like, oh, are you sure it's not just you getting between you and her? And I felt like that was really dismissive. I didn't like it.
I mean, I think he already went through the processing. Like that was what his conversation with Caitlyn was it was the processing. Is like she admits that she lied to him, and he he says that was a shitty thing to do, and she says, "Yeah, I understand that, and I'm coming clean now, and like I have made like efforts through the rest of this relationship, like to not hurt you in any other way."
I disagree.
I think that was the processing, and then basically he
I
does
disagree.
that, and he's like, and
I really don't think that's true. I don't think that's fair. I think that is hitting him with a very sudden, very severe truth that was withheld from him, and she gets the opportunity to say that I never did it again. I won't do it again. Here's all these things that I did right, and that's before he can even really I don't a person can't just process that fact, that kind of thing within the span of the 10 minutes it takes to have everything that you did everything that was done to you be defended. I think that it was perfectly legitimate that he stopped and said, I just need to think, I need space, I'll be back. Like I don't think that just saying all those things, especially since the key issue is that of a lie. Like he brought up, well, you lied about that. Like I don't know. Maybe it's not happening now, but I don't. Maybe it wasn't happening then, but he didn't know that it hadn't happened at any other point. And every trust that he had in that was shattered by the fact that she lied about it the first time. And so I think that, and I don't think that, I think that the way it ended up was fine, but I really found it distasteful that it was, that his, that the betrayal of his trust was downplayed so much so fast. I did not like that part of the book at all. In fact, it was going to be like the thing that was going to be my bad thing for this book. I hated that whole thing. It felt really, it just, I mean, I feel like if, and I don't usually make this argument, but if the roles had been reversed, we would be like, if instead of, if Daniel was a woman and Caitlin was a man, I feel like we would have a slightly different take on what happened, because we would say that we would say that the person in Daniel's position was in a vulnerable position now and needed to be able to take stock in themselves. And I don't know, I take being lied to in a relationship very seriously, and it
Well.
really bothered me.
Okay. That's fair enough. Let's talk about our favorite parts of the book. Or I guess we could reverse it and talk about our least favorite parts, since Shell just talked about.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to think of like what. I guess we can start with least favorite and then end on favorites. Yeah. Okay. Who wants to go?
Just the anonymous fucking book. It is this has the structure of how many black books that Shell hates. It just flits around, and there's a bunch of things that don't do anything.
That's true.
But half of this book could be cut out. You're not losing anything from it.
Yeah, it is a lot of setup, I guess, for the next Daniel Faust book, Neon Graveyard. It's an incredible amount of setup for that book, which is why I am gonna probably continue to get the two books confused, because they definitely feel like they should have just been stuck together.
Yeah, like you're a good 90 pages into this, like 370-page book before we even get to Navarasi and the fucking like thing of you have to steal a knife.
Yeah, it does take a long ass fucking time to get to like the main like thrust of like what's going to drive the novel, because for a lot of it,
and so I just also was all the stuff in Chicago, which comes to nothing.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I the thought is escaping me.
It's not even about. So Chicago didn't play into the book at all. So well, he failed here, but and like going back and thinking about his failure, he didn't. He learned something valuable. He got something valuable for a final confrontation.
It feels like there's definitely parts of this book, like before you get to the knife bit, you're like, oh, I know what this book is gonna be about. It's gonna be about really digging into the network, and then it does like a weird fucking swerve at the last second, which is like definitely part of the problem you mentioned. But I get that real life is frequently like that. Like you think you're gonna be doing one thing and then life swerves at you. But it's definitely a weird setup for a book, right?
I kept waiting for Daniel Faust to submit his own memory into evidence at the trial.
That too.
Because he saw the professor say that, yes, I am a I am a like professor, and I can vouch. Like, I'm a neutral third party who can vouch that this does not belong to Navarasi. And Navarasi herself put her stuff into evidence. So I just kept waiting for like, Daniel Fass is going to realize,
Yeah.
just because my witness is dead doesn't mean he's gone. He's in
And
my
you know,
memory.
the fact that everyone he hangs out with in this fucking novel is a demon, and they have
Yeah.
before like tracked down souls in hell.
Yeah.
Although
That's
they're kind of weird and dodgy about like, oh no, you need to rubber stamp the soul within like 10 minutes.
it's
Or is
like
that just for bounty hunting?
Like,
Just to
it's
also
the
for
soul
bounty?
leaves the body within 66 seconds.
66 seconds.
Yeah, which is a short story that we'll read at one point, which is about Fontaine.
Which, like, I
Oh.
get for like bounty hunting, you want to like put this constraint on it and like whatever. But like, if they've even like at the end of the first book, they mentioned like, oh yeah, I checked up on her soul in hell. She's doing great.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah, so I
weird.
guess everyone goes to hell. So yeah, they could have just found this dude's dead soul,
Like,
and
I
like with the evidence of
thought
like,
that would be
well,
the thing.
Not
Fass's
everyone,
memory.
to be very clear, not everyone goes to hell. There's in the first fucking book, I believe, Caitlin mentions that sometimes souls just disappear, which, with the knowledge of like the Revanche cycle, means that like reincarnation is a thing on some level. So like, there's no most souls go to hell is the point, I think. But yes,
Yeah,
not
there's like
like
a 99% chance that Professor is somewhere in hell right now. They
Yeah.
could be found.
yes.
Well, I
At the-
mean, at the very least, though, like I can think of a couple excuses, but they weren't mentioned at the time,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really
Oh.
work. They, at the very least, at bare minimum, they could have paid like some lip service. In
service,
fact,
yeah.
like I don't
Yeah.
know, like oh well, Daniel's not a demon, and we don't trust the memory of
Yeah,
someone whose mind
that
would
would
be
have
so
been-
blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
like
Or,
oh,
but they
you're
didn't say
wizard.
that.
You could manipulate your memory.
Or the time constraints, given the time constraints, we are not going to go searching for
Yeah,
some random soul
literally-
that may or may not turn whatever. But they didn't
Literally just
they didn't
have
bring it up.
that one line. There's just like,
Yeah,
hey, wait, Caitlin, you're a demon. Can't you retrieve his soul from hell? It's like, well, we don't have that time, Daniel. And like, I'd be fine with
Or
that.
was on.
Yeah.
I
It's-
think in general there seemed to be, I don't know, I kind of like I followed what happened at the end, but I definitely was half checked out. I was like, yeah, this is happening.
Yeah,
The
I
whole-
think.
too many
The whole
balls in there.
plotting is weirdly loose for Craig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the whole point though was like Craig thought of like this great fucking concept of like, oh, the hound is a weapon, so therefore, like I think he thought of that, and maybe that gave him like tunnel vision on writing the end.
Oh hell
Um,
yeah! I've got the
because
ending all
that-
planned out.
I mean,
This
that's
is
a
gonna be
real,
Yeah.
real fucking good twist.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it
that
is.
was like that was fun because it was
Yes.
like, he's using Navarasi's words against her because she submitted her own memories into evidence, so therefore
Yeah,
she'd have to, retract
like,
her only piece of evidence.
you could still have that ending, but like explain away like the two. I wouldn't say they're big plot holes, but like explain away the two small plot holes of like why can't Daniel submit his own memories as evidence, and why can't they try to retrieve a soul?
Yeah.
Because at no
It wasn't
point,
really a plot hole as much as like a dangling thread.
yeah, well, at no point do they really mention like a time limit. So like,
Mm-hmm.
it's weird.
I mean, it's just something with as detail obsessed as Craig is, and how much this book is about like fucking souls and demons. It just
I
stands
mean-
out to me as weird, but doesn't come up at all.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I'm at the end of this. I'm gonna read the 3 books that got announced with their like dates, and then it's gonna be really good because one of them I'm pretty sure is just about demons. More so than this book. All right, Dijon, did you have a least favorite part, or did we
Honestly,
already?
that was also going to be my least favorite
Okay.
part. Was just how many things get
Book
dropped.
plot.
Because like I liked the things that happened in the book, but like I wish they had happened in other books.
Yeah. Okay, my least favorite part is the encounter with Nedry, and this is very specific. Daniel asked like a fucking dumbass that doesn't really understand how Nedry works, even though he's encountered Nedry like
Mhm.
a bunch. Like
Mhm.
he forgets that Nedry can use fucking like
Well,
mirror magic. I'm like, well, he
Yeah,
doesn't
can do mirror
forget.
magic really quickly.
Yeah, like, but
well, I feel like I thought the way that I remember that was that he remembered the mirror trick, but Nedry's mirror trick changed.
yeah, but like,
Okay, it changed in a really weird way.
yeah, I guess I don't like
Like-
how it.
Like to explain, because I don't think we like mentioned specifically how his powers leveled up. Well, I guess we kind of mentioned he is the mirror now. Basically, the
Yeah.
way he used to work is that his real self was in the real world. However, he could jump into a mirror. Like he
Yeah,
basically
utilizes
teleport
reflection.
between mirrors for like a limited amount
Yeah.
of time. However, he has now been powered up, so he is always in the mirror now.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
apps and his
And-
visible real world form is just
Yeah.
like whatever.
It's his reflection, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end he's trapped in like a compact mirror held by
Yes.
Smith. We forgot to mention that, and there's like something in there.
Yeah,
Smith,
I,
it's whatever. He's like, you fucked up, Nedry, and now I'm putting you in with my demon monsters. It's like,
Put you in baby jail.
okay, yeah. Welcome to baby jail,
Baby
motherfucker.
jail. Oh no!
Um,
The worst place to be.
yeah. But yeah, that's
but it honestly doesn't work that much differently, except it's a little bit faster.
yeah. It just
Like
And
before,
definitely.
you had to take a
and-
second.
I guess if you have the element of surprise, it will definitely fuck over anyone who thinks.
It just definitely feels like
But that's a very specific scenario. That's basically, well, one day when Daniel Faust comes and finds me, he'll think he knows my power, but. And that's really
the
the only
long game.
situation it would be good in.
I'm playing the long game that only works once.
it definitely feels like the first thing Daniel should have done is like shoot all the fucking reflective surfaces he could get his hands on. But he just kind of
Mm,
leisurely talks with Nedry when there's like most things are somewhat reflective, but like especially Nedry's going to like make sure everything's polished to it. It's just really weird, and it's not something Daniel's like not usually that forgetful. It feels really.
Not even that he's forgetful, because like he mentions several times I'm keeping an eye on all the reflective surfaces in the room, and if he like makes any motion to do a spell to jump into one, I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah, because there's always been like a somatic and verbal component, at least like a tell that a spell is happening, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very strange. And I just don't.
yeah.
I don't like it. There's
Yeah,
definitely
like,
a sense.
Honestly, it would have been like, I feel like it would have been way more like of Faust's thing to just run in and grab him, like not to hold him up, because he's a nerd. I don't think he was even armed. I don't think Nedry's even armed. Just grab
Mhm.
him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
no,
it
he had a
was
Grab
panic
him and like
button.
cover his eyes or some shit.
it was just very strange. Okay. So
And- So,
sorry, go ahead.
Since we mentioned that Drivis does come back to before of my sub low point of his wand of Deus Ex Machina.
Mm.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
Limited Deus Ex Machina.
you find out why it does what it does, and
Yeah.
how it works.
So that it's the wand of a good guy.
Yeah, it only works, and you're gonna find out
It's so
why.
dumb.
Yeah, but like I get it. You're gonna find out why it's dumb, though. There's like a very good plot reason why it's dumb.
Why it's Deus Ex Machinas all day.
Sort of.
Why it only works when he's saving someone.
Yeah, it only works when he's like being selfless and helping someone.
And
And
that someone can't just be him.
Yes, and it also can't be a generic concept like if I don't get out of here, a bunch of people are gonna die.
yeah, it has to be like very concrete, and you'll find out why. And I think it's very funny. But okay, so let's talk the things you like. Let's start with Shell, because she kicked off the down point. So we'll just do it in the order we did it before. So yeah, what'd you
Sure.
like?
Okay, so I mean, I really like Fontaine.
Fontaine's good.
I
Oh, yeah,
I was
Fontaine.
very happy when Fontaine turned up. I was very happy when Fontaine was very Fontaine the whole time he had turned up. I loved the way that he just sort of casually and amicably is just like, oh well, just doing my job, and oh well, that sounds like it's off. Well, it's a good thing you didn't. It's a good thing it was me who got you because a lot of people don't follow protocol the way I do. It's just he's
Now, you
so
see, I'm a gentleman who has been
Yes.
saddled with the unfortunate task of training up this ward.
he's so charmingly he's so charming about how he's about to kill you. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
He's the good non-racist parts of a southern gentleman.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
polite.
I guess sort of to tack onto it because that's sort of general. To tack onto that as sort of a sub favorite thing, I really like the ancillary characters that tend to pop up. And while it was pointless. It was pointless. I forget their names, but the lady in Chicago and her friend who's the Wendigo.
hmm Yeah. Fuck. It's. God damn it.
Right?
Yeah.
I had it too, but I like them. I especially like the the researcher lady. She seems really cool and mysterious, and she's got experience that you don't understand why she has
I-
it.
So
What?
thought you were talking about Goofus and Gallant.
Oh,
Got Zeke and what's his face?
Zeke and Mac.
Yeah. God.
No,
I mean-
I mean they're cute, but no.
You don't like his painful gun. His anime waifu gun.
Oh, pain gun. No, that's perfect. God.
They're a Japanese term for
yeah,
painful
like the
car.
cars.
Yeah. Which,
but
sorry, one side read certified in calligraphic script. The other side read badass. I think I'd rather go unarmed.
but yeah, so I really like. I think this book just what it did reinforce for me was that I really like the sort of the tertiary characters that populate the world of the book. Like I enjoy them.
Okay. I was gonna add something, but then you said everything I would have said. Like Zeke and Mac, they're dumb dipshits. And are really, really good. Zeke and Mac are I don't think we talked about them much, but they're
I didn't mention them.
demonic cultists, basically. They're part of the court of night blooming flowers, but they're just
Flowers.
dumb fucking idiot. They were probably goths in high school, like mall goths, and they're just joined a cult for Satan. Yep, that's it.
Bulk Skull grown up.
Yeah,
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Broken Skull.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Heave. Do you have a favorite bird?
Hey, Corman and Bentley.
Aw.
Aw,
Yep, still the best.
they are. Do you want to
I
add
have
any?
a passage for you.
Okay.
Several, but
Okay.
this one's the first one in the book.
All right.
Corman doing anything this week? Oh, we have opera tickets this Tuesday. Beyond that, our schedules are wide open. I heard Corman's gruff voice shout in the background. Schedules are open on Tuesday, too. Bentley sighed.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love
hush.
that part.
And then it's like small glimpses we keep getting into their life when they were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did I ever tell you about that time we escaped Oblivion jail?
The princess thought they were hitting on her.
Hey, oh, toe curling story. You see, the daughter of a governor thought we were vying for her hand, when we really enraptured by the lovely senorita's diamond necklace. Things did not go according to plan. So there we were, scheduled to face down a firing squad at dawn.
they've lived these incredibly interesting lives. These
Yeah.
weird dads.
It's very good.
Love them. Oh, and of course, the requisite part where he just literally refer to like, when someone's like, "I'm gonna go kill Daniel, for he's an idiot," or whatever. You are talking about our son.
Oh,
And
you
he
mean
hasn't even done it yet.
oh, what's his name? I know it's David Gosselin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I I
is-
almost forgot.
Did
huh?
we not mention the dove fight?
Go-
No, yeah,
what-
the dog
we
fight!
absolutely did. We did forget to mention the dove fight once.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring him up, but unfortunately, I mean, as awesome as the dove fight is, that's such a throwaway part of the book.
Yeah, but
As much as I love it.
dove fight where I'm not even sure he was using like magic.
No, I
He
think
just
about
has
it just the
doves. He
doves.
just has attack doves. Oh,
It also
man.
said like then you could see the vague shapes of giant fan blades turn behind him as wind started blowing at him. Like, did you just
See, I-
fucking haul your fucking stage set?
See,
to
I
his
also,
alleyway to
I also
wait for
love the
Daniel?
idea. I also love the idea that he's a stage magician whose literal magic also takes the form of stage magic tricks. Like he could just
yeah.
summon, literal
Yeah.
fog machines.
His,
Actually, no,
his literal magic is so crappy that it has plausible deniability built in.
Yes.
Michelle, what were you
no,
gonna say?
the doves were magic. That they had to have been, because that's how Daniel got away. He ran out of the bounds of the area and into a public place, and he knows the rules as well as anybody else. You can't let the normie see the magic.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So,
how did the magic doves?
Yeah, but they just as easily could have not been. I
Also-
am with you there.
For a pedantic point, the doves also got into the tiger's garden.
We're the product of magic, so obviously.
Yeah, I propose to you that the doves are in fact tiny bird magicians.
Oh, that would still explain why they couldn't be seen outside, because they're magicians.
My
And
God.
a bird with
They're doing
magic
their
is
own magic.
weird. I like that theory.
How do you think doves fly? It's magic.
No, most of them
Yeah,
befriended
by
the
all
spiral.
known laws of aerodynamics, a dove should not be able to fly.
They've done it. They've summoned the spirals.
I actually did. I should have included David Gosselin in there too with the ancillary character thing, because
Oh yeah, he
as-
got his fucking
as
hat back.
yeah, he did get his hat back. As absolutely like annoying as he is, I kind of love him. Like, I
Oh, he's
mean,
a
who else
douche.
would have a magic slap fight with Daniel just over a fucking hat?
Yeah.
Or-
I love the parts of this story that just like are very low stakes. No
Oh,
stakes.
got-
Oh, but he was also under the impression that the fucking twins were like hitting on him for real, and he was all
Yeah.
pouty about how
I have
you
this
ruined my chances.
bookmarked.
Oh, go for it, go for
I
it.
hope it's being
Hey,
kinky.
hey, they locked you in a steel milk truck, I said. This probably kinky. Oh, Jennifer said, take it from me. They are.
Uh,
Don't want to know.
Was one time and she's really drunk.
okay, Dijon, did you have a favorite part?
My favorite part was Craig Schaefer writes a creepypasta.
Wait, what?
So we didn't mention the backstory of the Tulpas,
God, yep,
which is
okay.
that-
Ah,
which is that
Yep,
like
God.
many years ago, a crazy magician created a short cartoon starring like this a hippo, a mouse, and a clown.
And
Yeah,
man, it
and-
was so fucked up, and everyone who watched it committed suicide
Like,
2 days after watching it.
Yes, he laced it with
Subconscious.
subliminal, like magical
It
like
doesn't work.
symbols, and
They do in the magic.
like
God,
there's
Wizard.
like a story that like some college students like took LSD and watched it, and at the end
It's
they were either
just a
crazy or
creepypasta.
dead.
God damn
Yeah.
it!
It's so weird.
Yeah, you're right.
And then yeah, it's literally just dead mouse.
It is.
It's the crazy cartoon that makes you crazy when you watch it.
Oh my
And
gosh, they only displayed it for one night because after all the people committed suicide, it had to be put away in a vault and
Mhm.
Yeah.
burned.
And basically what this assassin had done is that like he had been like turned into like a paraplegic. So what he did is that he bought this cartoon and then he used it for its intended purpose, which was to be meditated upon.
Yeah,
And he
it's
watched it for years until he brought the characters to life.
It's such a
Yeah.
creepypasta. It's even
Yeah.
told to us by an
It's-
insufferable nerd.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's very specifically the cartoon's meant to like crack open your brain to let you like do magic good. Which is not
Yeah.
which the Tulpa thing is not exactly how
Not
it was meant
necessary
to
for.
be. Yeah. No, you're just supposed to watch it a whole bunch and then like but like he's
To be
like
clear, you could have done it with anything.
yes.
Yeah. But this was like kind of designed for magic purposes.
Yes,
so-
and so he made the natural, normal leap of, what if I did it to get tulpas? And then
It's
God,
I-
wait,
I don't know why he went to all this effort to get that cartoon to make tulpas, since
When
we know
My
for
Little
a fact
Pony
My Little
exists.
Pony exists.
God damn it!
You actually were the same
I
person
was
still.
waiting for that.
Hey,
joke.
actually,
Uh,
and we do know that it does exist in universe, doesn't it?
Yes. That's
Yeah,
my
it
joke.
came up.
Yeah.
Joke.
yeah. I also really like, just to jump off since we're talking about Tulpa Assassin, which is so fucking good, actually.
Yeah, I wrote that in big letters actually.
When they when Daniel's like confronting him, he's like, okay, if you want to talk to me, stop having your stupid tulpas attack everyone, or I'm gonna have to kill you. And he's like, I can't. They're my friends. It's like, oh no, oh no, Craig,
That
what
was
have you done to
crazy.
yourself? Like, but it's also like the
I've
tulpas
brought
are
them
not.
to life. They exist outside of me now.
They just want to protect me because we're friends, and it's like, oh,
Like at this point, you cannot convince me otherwise that Craig is not aware of the people trying to make My Little Pony tulpas.
yeah,
no,
no,
absolutely.
100%.
No,
He
I mean,
definitely knows for
there,
a fact, and that's why he wrote this.
Yeah,
There's
that's why
been a
this is
yeah.
cartoons.
Yeah.
there has been a handful of times where it's been obvious that Craig tried to do a little like subculture research, and it was a little clunky. But this one, he was just spot on.
This one was perfect. Like I immediately knew what he was going for.
Yeah.
And it was
Craig is
like, oh, this is good.
very online.
Also, I know that they were described as as animals and stuff, but I could not help but imagine the scene in Akira where the little psychic kids are like creating like giant toys to like menace what's his name, and I don't know. That's how I pictured it, and that was also weird.
And no, I think it's extremely effective of just like just the image of like a rubber hose, like Steamboat Willie style,
Yeah.
like hippo and
Yeah.
clown and
It's mentioned that the way these things move is like not how physics
they-
would work.
Yeah, they even do the little bob.
yeah,
Like they bob and they like kind of like jump. They like walk around with like these little hops that kind of are way too floaty for how heavy they should be.
I think at one point a frame is even lost.
yeah, yeah. I also really like the concept of someone who like a wizard who kills with like tulpas, because you literally all he has to do is like sit like down and doesn't actually have to get involved, because you can't like kill an idea because it's an idea. It's very
Yeah,
good.
Like you can temporarily disable it by shining light on it, but it just comes back.
Yeah,
It also I won't go into it. It reminded me of an episode of Cowboy Bebop. Anyway.
No, it's very good. I think
Yeah.
yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah, I think we've talked about all my favorite parts. I really like Tulpa Assassin. I think it's like a fucking good. I think it's just like a good bit. Like,
Yeah.
It was
Like-
it was the part of the book where like by that point I was starting to get like a little so like Daniel just kind of wasted a couple chapters, huh? But then the Tulpa Assassins showed up, and that kind of carried me through most of the rest of the book. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is really good. Oh, I'm
yeah,
interested.
it's
That's why we saw the mundane assassins first, because we had to see this.
yeah. No, I read a lot of urban fantasy with with like wizards, and it's always like very generic, like Latin chanting, like doing spells with a wand and a staff, and like Craig Schaefer really fucking gets what I, the reader, want, and it's like I want weird people who do weird magic because magic's not supposed to make sense and it's supposed to be weird. I want more
Yeah.
Tulpa assassins, damn it! Like, why aren't there Tulpamancers in like every urban fantasy book, right? Like,
Because Tulpamancers would be absolutely incredible because they would all just have like shitty imaginary friends.
yes,
That's what they would be, right?
yeah, that's like this is just like very broad, like not even on the topic of the book we read, but like a lot of urban fantasy is like very centered on Western like ideas of like magic and thought, and like that's boring. I can fucking I won't read Harry Potter because J.K. Rowling's a piece of shit, but I can read other books that will just Craig elevates it, and we didn't even talk about we talked about like two of the assassins, like Tulpamancer and Fontaine, but the other one is a Cambion.
Talent.
Yeah, is a Cambion who has a hijacker demon that just lives with him in his brain, and it's like implied.
Yeah.
It's
With
implied that
his
they're like,
hijack. He has
Yeah.
a paintball gun.
yeah,
Yeah, he's the one with a shitty gun.
yeah, and it's implied that like it's like a Bonnie and Clyde style relationship.
Yeah, they
Except-
literally are. Like they
Yeah.
talk like Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, except we're gonna find out some really funny shit about them. I don't think we find out in this book. After he kills
Is it that one of them is just sort is it that it's really only one of them and the other one's constantly replaceable?
yeah.
It's kind of implied revealed that like she has a bunch of Cambions.
That's why I went for Goofus and Gallant.
Yeah, it's very good. Like
The one competent one is a essentially rotating idiot.
yeah, it's very good to me. Like every single like bounty hunter we encounter in this book, like all three of them, they're very distinct styles of like killing people. Like Fontaine's a not cold, but he's like professional about it.
Yeah.
He sees it as like a job that needs to be done, and you can take joy in your job, but like when you get to the distasteful parts of your job, you aren't joyful in them. One of them's just like is literally a paraplegic that sits in his like in an enclosed room and like attacks you with his imaginary best friends, and the other one's
In his
actually
warehouse with like curtains everywhere.
The
Yeah.
Tulpamancer is just clearly the natural evolution of a D&D wizard.
yep. But he manages
man.
to make it like different and interesting. Like every wizard we've encountered, every like magic user we've encountered does it
Because
different.
He's an artillery unit.
So based on all of that, with all of what you just said there, especially, I couldn't help but think. I couldn't help but remember about what time. I couldn't help but remember about the time. Craig Schaefer mentioned that he had listened to an episode of Extra Credit,
Oh god.
and now I'm
Yep.
just
no.
waiting for the book to come out where somebody turns into chocolate.
Or someone
Oh,
is
no.
like someone casts a spell and it's like
Fetish.
objectum sexualium. It's like, oh fuck.
Chocomancer.
Yeah, oh my god,
My magic power allows me to bring
fucking
in it.
Chronovac bullshit.
Yeah, but no, it's we have yet to encounter someone that does magic the same way as someone else, which is like a fucking small feat of wonder to me because a lot of urban fantasy books are like, yep, everyone does magic the same way. or there's schools of magic, and it's like, no, Craig is like, everyone does magic, and it's like personal, and like, two people do it the same way. You can teach other people how to do things, but like, they develop. It's just interesting and good.
It's
Yeah.
personally my favorite kind of magic.
Or at the very least, maybe there are other people who do magic certain ways, but we don't really interact with them. And honestly, that is an authorial choice that I would be behind if that's the case.
Like, if people
Yeah,
do that,
what-
they're probably like low-level mages.
Because, like, yeah, and they're like that. It's way more entertaining to have everybody be different.
Yeah, well, like
It's great to read.
like Daniel learned from Bentley and Corman how to do magic,
Right.
but like Bentley and Corman have very different styles. Like Bentley's like an alchemist, and like Corman's a
Like,
ritualist.
Projectionist. And
Yeah.
Coin, we don't really see a lot of his stuff.
He astral project. Yeah, he does just like it's really
Just-
good. And like
Yeah, Bentley actual. Yeah.
Daniel has like a basic understanding of like what they do, but his is more like long form ritualized magic that takes a while to set up, but that is like more powerful than like what most people can do. It's just really interesting and good, actually.
Yeah, but like, in general, what we see is that magic is mostly ritual, and everyone has their own rituals.
Yeah, it's very much like Unknown Armies, and I mean that in the best fucking way.
And yeah, and like the people who don't do rituals really, their magic tends to come at a great cost.
Yes. But yeah, no, I just really enjoy the magic in these books. It's very just as an aside, when Harmony talks about how she does magic, like she's physically like it causes backlash and pain to her, which is not something like anyone else is encountering.
Yeah, she also like very explicitly describes herself as just opening up to these streams of magic that are always there.
Yeah, she's taking the like 4 classical Greek elements inside herself, and her body's like a furnace, and she changes them. There's like a very specific type of alchemy that's like supposed to be done in the body, which is like very obscure. That's basically, it's just really interesting. Like you can tell Craig does his research. It's nice.
And
I fucking enjoy it.
since we're kind of on a related topic, they're finally trotting out the line Julia has been using for a series for a while. Is he self-describes like them via Cult Underground as criminals who do magic or
Mhm.
who use magic. And
Yeah.
like, oh, and the network, they are magicians who use crime.
Yeah,
Very
it's
good.
a very good line, and it really paints like a really good picture of like how they're different. Like they think like the network thinks as magicians first, and then criminals second, whereas Faust and his friends think as criminal first. Like for every like problem they solve with magic, they also solve it with like mundane shit. Like Faust does
Yeah, they
lockpicks.
mostly do crime.
Yeah, it's really good. Like
And
okay, it's quite good.
So when we keep tossing that to like criminals who do magic, it's just actually the first time it comes up when we're forgetting earlier instances of it.
Yeah.
In that exact
Um,
wording.
Okay, let's bring this to a close. I think we've all said what we wanted to say. Next time we are going to read Harmony Black Book 4, Cold Spectrum, which is the final book of the old run of Harmony Black, where it's told from first person. So really excited to get to the third person stuff because I think it just becomes a better series as a whole.
Yeah, but I've been told that they still don't kiss, so
Yeah, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we can force Craig to make them kiss
Mhm.
just will it into existence.
if we believe hard enough. I mean, I just learned about a guy who is like the face for Soap Shoes and the Last Soaper. So I feel like anything in this world is possible. So like, I feel like we should be able to force. Yeah, to watch Soper die and then go to Wikipedia and look up Ryan,
Guy's
whatever.
name.
Yeah, Do it.
Yeah,
Don't
just
don't do it in any other order. Do it in the order I just said.
but do both of those things. You have to do both of those things.
Yes, you have to because it's fucking insane. It's insane. Anyways, I feel like if we live in a world where the Last Soper is a thing, we can live in a world where Harmony Black and Jesse Temple kiss. Right?
Yeah, we
Right.
can just start tweeting Craig aggressively.
I mean,
Make him
yeah.
kiss, Craig.
Yeah, anyways, next time we'll read Cold Spectrum, Harmony Black Book 4.
Yeah.
And
Finally to kill the FBI.
before we finally kill it. Okay, go ahead and read your tweet, Eve.
There it is. So this was a little tweet Craig tweeted on May 31st. It's technically part of a series, but you don't need the first tweet. The Grey Council will unite with the Vampire Lords and the Werewolf Packs in an unholy alliance, and even the Trispawn magic. So, their Trispawn magic of the Fairy Queen is helpless against them. Only one man can save the day. Me, Dick Wolf. These spellbound streets are mean. I'm meaner.
Yeah.
I love Craig rediscovering Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf chain smokes wands. Okay. See you guys. I replied that. That's a literal reply sent to him in a tweet. Goodbye.